Hi fam, welcome back to another interesting video. In this video we are going to be treating the topic induction of labor slash elective CS. As you guys have already seen it on the board, it's my antenatal day and I'm here to share with you guys all that went down. So sit back and enjoy this interesting.
Do we love to see my face? Yeah. Do we love my face?
Yeah.
Alright, so this morning we're talking about induction of labor. Hope you slept well. Yeah. Alright, so induction of labor, elective CS, and then we're talking about baby's activities in the room. So I'm sure induction of labor is not strange to us, right? Well, we've been talking about induction of labor almost every time. So what do we understand by induction of labor? In your own language. Just simply put. Okay, you can try.
My own language.
Yeah.
Like, simply means
Yes, sir.
the process by which service is opened.
Okay.
Centimeter by centimeter. And the maximum centimeter is 10 centimeters.
Sure. Okay. So what's that difference between that one and labor? Since you said process by which cervix is opening. So in labor, share our cervix will not open.
Okay, so it's a process of trying to force labor to start.
What to force it? What to force it by fire? Okay. Simply like your children, right?
And to me, simply means the help that you render to distant labor.
Okay, to hasten labor. Hasten labor. To make hasten labor means to make it quick. Is that what you mean?
To activate, I think activation of labor.
Activation of labor. You really don't your language.
Every part of the body that we call the
Alright, okay, so we've all done well. We had a good trial. So in layman language, induction of labor is simply initiating labor. So I've not fallen into labor and I'm already due. So maybe it's supposed to come out at this stage, maybe it's not coming out. So the medical practitioners need to help me to start, help the labor process to start. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do we get it? I've not yet fallen into labor, but my baby is already, so it's supposed to come out, or it's supposed to be out by now. So, through different means, we help the baby, we help labor to start, and by that, the baby will come out. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you understand my simple definition?
Yes.
Alright, thank you. So what's the indication for labor? What's the indication for induction? Why do we say, okay, this woman should come this evening to get induced? Why? The first one is postdatism. Postdatism. If the baby is, when do we say baby is postdated? Thank you. After 42 weeks, right? But we don't wait till 42 weeks before we say, okay, you need to come over now. 42 weeks, yes, we said that your EDD is plus or minus 2 weeks, right? And that plus 2 weeks is like, okay, you can still, try to see if labor is going to commence around that period. But once the baby is getting to 41 weeks plus thereabouts, we don't wait till 42 weeks. If labor has not started or labor has not begun, we do what? We call the woman over to for induction. Do you understand? Yes, because we don't want the baby to stay too long inside the womb. Why? Why don't we want the baby to stay too long in the womb? The placenta will get tired. Yes, that's a good point. Yes, it is a relative.
To avoid complications for the baby.
Supply of blood to the baby.
Avoid complications for the baby.
Complications to the baby, okay. The baby will shrink.
Baby will shrink.
Have you seen a positive baby before? Ọmọ tó ti dàgbà.
Ti darúgbó sínú.
Have we seen them before? Have we seen any positive baby before?
No.
Anybody?
Oh, grandpa.
If you may not know that this baby is positive because of course they may not tell you, but sometimes what you see is that the baby will be, some babies have this arugbo kind of look. Their skin will shrink and they're like, this is a newborn baby, but why is it looking like a grandpa? Something like that. That's a positive baby. Of course, the new one will not tell you that 40, 100 weeks, and all of that. But those are one of the things you see for a child that is positive. Alright, so placenta insufficiency is what will happen if the baby stays too long. Placenta will not be able to sufficiently provide everything that the baby needs. And once the placenta is already getting tired, like she said, the baby is not getting enough and all of that, so complications could arise. So, pregnancy-induced hypertension. There are different levels of hypertension, but when it's already getting to the severe part, we are already trying to be controlling, the hypertension right from maybe first trimester, second trimester, and it's still not being maintained and it's still on the high side. We give the woman a date because we don't want to stress the woman. Anything stressful, could further cause the BP to go high and up. So, pregnancy-induced hypertension is one of the indications for induction. Also, diabetes, okay, what we call gestational diabetes or just diabetes generally. Once a woman is diabetic, there are so many complications that could arise. The child could get affected, and one of the things that also happens, the woman that is having diabetes is the baby is likely to be big. Baby is likely to be big, and some other things that could happen. So we want to. The woman's life is at risk sometimes if not well managed. So sometimes the woman would have to not even get induced, but go for cesarean section if it is on the extreme side. Do you understand? Yes. Alright, so then maternal request. We briefly touched this 2 weeks ago or so. Some of you were around. Maternal request, maybe the woman wants to, maybe has an exam, and she's already due. It's not that you have an exam and you are 31 weeks and you want this baby to come out because we are not going to answer you. Alright? The only condition that will make us grant your request is if you are term. If you are term and you need to maybe need to travel or you have an appointment or you even have an interview and of course they can't accept someone that is heavily pregnant, and you're already term. Okay, this so days we can help, we can reason along. We are reasonable beings, isn't it? So we can reason along as long as maybe it's fit to live extraterrestrial like anytime from 37, 38 weeks upward. Do we understand? Do we understand?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Alright, so the baby now. What's the reason why we say, okay, we need to induce this woman? One of the reasons is if there is fetal death, okay, intrauterine fetal death. Okay, the woman unfortunately lost the baby, and do we know that whether or not the baby is alive, as long as the woman is pregnant, whether or not the baby is alive inside the womb will contract. Matron taught us that 2 weeks ago. Do we understand that, right?
Yes.
No. Okay, so contraction has been happening from first trimester. You may not have noticed it at the early stage, but you just notice that, okay, your stomach will get hard, it will relieve you, get hard, it will release, and like that, till the final trimester, third trimester, until when you know want to give birth, when you fall into labor, and it's progressive. You know, the intensity and all of that is progressive. So whether or not your baby is kicking very well, your womb is going to contract. Why? It's preparing itself for D-Day. Do you understand? It's preparing itself for D-Day. So there's fetal movements and there's contractions, and that's why we've been taught the difference between fetal movement and contraction, isn't it? Can anybody differentiate that? Fetal movement and contraction. How do I know that, okay, this is contraction? How do I know that, oh, I think my baby is moving, this is not contraction? Change of position. How do you know?
Change of position.
How do you know that a baby has changed position?
It moves around.
Okay. But contraction?
Contraction might just be hardening and just.
Thank you. Do you understand? So hardening of the upper part of your abdomen is contraction. Okay? But movement, you will feel, sometimes you will even see it outside when your baby moves. Just that part go up and come down, and that part you feel like do you understand? Do you understand the difference now? Yes. So I was saying that whether or not a baby is alive in the womb will contract. It's a normal phenomenon to always contract. And I remember Metro was telling us, I think of a story of a woman that the baby had already, died in the womb and all, and she was contracting, so she felt, oh, this baby's movement, isn't it? So she was like, this baby moved, I think they checked the FHR, they did the examinations and all. They couldn't pick it. So probably when they went for further examinations, and the woman was like, oh, she had picked instinct. I know when they would, examine her, they actually saw that it was contraction, not fetal movement. So you would see that by, the hardening of your abdomen. So please, let's note the difference. So back to our topic. So intrauterine fetal death could be an indication for labor. So even if the woman is term or not, once a baby dies inside the womb, of course we have to bring out the baby. So they induce the woman. Then severe IUGR, that's intrauterine growth retardation. The baby is not growing, and the baby is stuck there, of course, no growth. If the baby is not growing again, then we have to bring out the baby. So if it is in the severe case, of course, if the child could still be very small, it will even be easy for the baby to come out through induction. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do we get that?
Yes.
Thank you. Alright, so what are the contraindications of induction of labor? Meaning that what are those things that we would see and we say that no, this woman is not fit for induction of labor. The first one is fetal macrosomia, big baby. Okay, big baby. What's the range for normal weight of a baby? Let's clap ourselves. Let's clap ourselves now. Okay, I want you to look at it. Alright, so fetal macrosomia, when a baby is big, above 4 kg rather. Above 4 kg, we say this baby is a big baby. Okay, so if the baby is bigger than the passage, we've talked about this before. We talked about the 4 P's, isn't it? Yes. Do we remember the passage, power, the psyche, and what? And the passenger. Thank you. What did you want to say? Alright. So if the passenger is bigger than the passage, we know the passage, right? Yes. The vaginal canal. And the passenger. Thank you. So the passenger is way bigger than if you come out to Bajade, what will happen? It's not possible. So CS, then severe hydrocephalus. What's hydrocephalus?
Water.
Hydro.
The water.
So too much fluid in the head, which could make the head big and all that. You would even see it once you see one of the features is the big head. And of course, it's not, number one, it's an anomaly, and any child that is having such an anomaly, we don't want to stress the child, It's stressful. Vaginal delivery could be stressful for the baby itself. isn't it?
Yes.
Could be stressful. Aside that, because of the size of the head, we talked about if the passenger is bigger than the passage, the baby is having a big head because of the fluid retained and all. So that will not be possible. Then contracted pelvis, there are different types of pelvis. We have the normal female pelvis and the other types. We have different types of pelvis actually. So if the woman is not having an adequate pelvis, meaning that a female pelvis is, there's a way the pelvis should be and all of that. So if she's not having that adequate pelvis that can fit delivery, we will not be able to induce. Do you understand why? Because of the different diameters and all. If the baby is not going to be able to fit, for example, if a woman is having a male pelvis, one of the things that is in a male pelvis that is not in a female pelvis is there are two sharp like 2 pointers, okay, at the outlets. Let's say at the basin. Let me say at the basin, okay. It's just like this greater than and less than sign. Yes. So it's going to prevent the child from going further. Do you understand? And she has exhausted all her energy and all of that, and she's probably in the delivery room already. It's possible to be in the delivery room and still eventually go for CS. Do you know that? Yes. The woman is tired, and if you remember, when we're teaching the 4 P's, we talked about what? Power. Without the woman's power, without the woman's effort, without the woman's push, the baby is not going to come out. Yes, the womb, is contracting, the baby is, trying to calm down, the womb is helping, but the mother also has to push to help the baby come out. So if the woman is tired, I'm a shamer, there's nothing we can do about it. We can just, encourage, don't worry, you're almost there. Okay, we can see the baby's head and all of that. We encourage from our own end, we do all that we can. But if the woman says, no, I'm not doing it again, I want to go for CS, then we have to do whatever it is she wants at that moment, just to save the baby's life as soon as possible. Alright? Okay, so multiple gestation. The woman is carrying triplets, quadruplets, 10 children, and all of that. Yes, now we've seen 9 children and all of that. So, of course, we are not going to risk the woman's life. No, not yet. So we're not going to risk the woman's life, and go for vaginal delivery. See it straight up. Then fibroid. When the woman is having fibroid with the baby, we don't want to stress the woman, we don't want to stress the womb, we don't want to predispose her to excessive bleeding and all of that. So we do what? We go for cesarean section. Then, sickle cell. Anybody having having sickle cell disease, a sickler, we don't want to stress her too much, okay? Because our own condition is, unique and all of that. So we advise right from the start, cesarean section. Then, all contraindications for induction of labor. So all these things I've said, we said that induction of labor, yes, it's not advisable if the woman has any of this, or if any of this is happening. So what we do is we go for cesarean section. Do you understand that point? Yes. Show you what?
Yes.
Yes, alright. Do we all understand?
Yes.
Okay. Then baby's activity in utero. How many of us usually follow the video? The video we usually play. Please let's follow it. They mentioned some of these things in the video this morning. We were paying attention.
Yes.
Yeah. So in your baby, while pregnant, your baby is doing all these things. Your baby is hiccuping. How many of us have heard our baby hiccup before? If you pay attention at this stage, your baby has been hiccuping since day big. Yes. So if you pay attention, you will hear it. I'm sure maybe the first time you don't do it, but you will hear it. You will hear that sound. Then tongue sucking also. If you pay attention, you might hear tongue sucking. Baby starts tongue sucking right from you. It's not when they give birth to the baby that baby now starts looking for hands, the hands to get to suck. No, baby has been doing what's in shame and what right from the womb. Okay, kicking, that one is common. Be on kick ball, eh? They don't kick you. I should tell your babies to start kicking you now. Alright, so swallowing of amniotic fluid is a normal thing inside. They take in the amniotic fluid and all. It's a normal thing right from when they were in the first trimester and all of that. Stretching, they stretch, they kick, they sleep. But when you notice that activity has not been really frequent, you have to, to do something, isn't it?
Yes.
What do we do when we notice that we're not feeling so much activity as before? What are the things we can do?
You take cold water.
Take something rich in glucose, play music,
Cold water.
select something. Okay, I didn't write it. Senses, thank you. Flashlight. Senses bright light. So they are sensitive to bright light, to music, sound, and all of that. What's ear to eat? H-E-A-T. To eat, okay? Then ears from outside, noise from outside, they also hear. And if you notice, if you and your husband used to, have little arguments and all of that, sometimes if you pay attention, your baby can respond to it. When you're not happy, maybe you and your husband just fought or just had a slight misunderstanding, just quiet, something like that. So your baby responds to emotions. If you are not fine, your baby is also not fine, because once we are not in the, we are not in a good mood, there are some hormones that we secreted, and the baby will feel it. So that's why they say that once you're pregnant, try as much as possible to be happy. Don't let anything affect your mood, because your baby is internalizing those emotions that you're also feeling. And that's why some babies at the end of the day say, oh my God, gentle, and that's after you delivered. If the effect was too much, the woman went through a lot when she was pregnant, maybe almost depressed and all of that, it has effect on the baby. So try as much as possible to be in a good mood, talk to your baby, speak to your baby, play music, dance, and all of that. It affects your baby one way or the other. Amen? Alright, any question? Question. What do you think? Do you have any question? Or you don't agree to any of the things we saw today?